okay, he can sign up officially, but I'd like Mr. Parsons to share with the board, especially the new members, some things that's going on. And it's relevant because in a few days from now, you'll hear more about it. And I'd just like for the board to kind of be aware and informed, positive things, I should say. And Mr. Parsons is coming to kind of represent, just to give a briefing to the board as delegations to be heard.
Mr. Parsons?
Do you need me to sign something?
You can sign it later.
Sign in.
Okay.
Sign it.
See, Dr. Martin's not here and Carol's not here, but they've both been through this before, so they are probably aware. What I'd like to brief you on, and Steve, I can't remember, you were here the last? Okay, it was Mr. Baker that was not there. These are some new figures for you, however, you haven't seen.
Did you turn it back on, or do you want?
Oh, is she? Okay, I'll have another. As you all may or may not be aware, about 3 years ago, we entered into a partnership with a company called Energy Education Incorporated that's based now out of Texas. At that time, they were based out of Oklahoma. And what we're trying to do is achieve cost savings in our utility bills, specifically gas and electricity within the school system. This company is well represented throughout the nation. They cater solely to school systems, college campuses, and large church campuses. They don't take on any other private business clients or governmental buildings other than school systems and church campuses. They have clients in all of the states with the exception of Hawaii and North Dakota. What we try to do is achieve savings during the evening and over the weekend and through the summer times when our buildings aren't occupied. Probably all of you have in the past driven by one of the schools and seen, at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night, maybe half the lights in the building are on. Hopefully you don't see that anymore. If you do, let me know which school it is. I'll be right out there. We've done a variety of different things trying to achieve these savings. It includes installing new equipment such as programmable thermostats, motion sensors on lights in hallways, educating our staff, and I have to commend the staff of Lincoln County Schools because they have bought into this program and I have had very little resistance. And from what I hear when I go to these conferences, which they require that we attend 3 a year, from the other energy managers in some of the other states and other school systems within our state, that's a rarity. They get a lot of resistance from teaching staff in a lot of their locations, as well as custodial staff. But we have not seen that type of problem here. We've been very successful. Everybody tends to pitch in. We do have occasional lapses, but most of the time everything is done as we're requiring them to operate. The pages I gave you here represent the first year of savings. It's broken down by the schools individually. The cost avoidance is the percentage of savings. Now, to explain cost avoidance briefly, if it goes by usage, how many kilowatt hours you're using, opposed to what our base year was, which was 2007-2008 was the base year. Starting in May of 2008, we began the program, so the things that we are doing as a result of the program are impacting our usage compared to the prior year. We've had significant reductions in kilowatt hours and in MCFs and gas. at our locations, and of course, as you reduce those items and they go up in cost, such as electricity's gone up twice a year for the past 2 years, it'll go up again twice next year. Your cost savings actually increase over time with that because of the reduced usage. And hopefully you'll see our utilities budget not have to expand as much as it maybe has in the past, or maybe not at all. First page is the first year's savings. Total cost avoidance for that year was $223,243.24. Second page is the second year of the program, complete year. And the third page, we're a third of the way through this year in our program, and we've had $102,000 worth of savings so far in the first 4 months of this year. And the final page is the total cost savings for the program from the inception in May of '08 to the present, which was been August of 2010. And we're running roughly $570,000 savings to that point. My goal is, over the 4 years of the contract, and the way for Mr. Matthews and Mr. Curry, the way this program operates, we sign a contract with Energy Education for 4 years. At the end of that 4 years, we go what's known as out of contract. We no longer pay a monthly fee for their services. However, as long as we maintain at least a part-time energy manager and continue to update our software that we use, then we are able to access all of their programs free of charge from that point on, which is including calling to have their consultants come in to do evaluations, to look at things, to give us new ideas, and attending all the conferences. So we'll still have a network. Some schools have been into this program now for 20 years. A good example, and if you want to see an excellent program, go to Loudoun County, Virginia school systems website and go to their energy management page. It's phenomenal. Those people have been into it a long time, and they've got multiple energy managers for the system. But anyway, I wanted to come and talk to you a little bit about this program. I'm sure you may have some questions. You may get some people coming in and saying, oh, well, my child says it's really cold in this particular classroom or whatever. And to give you an example of what we're trying to do, we're going away from the dial type thermostats where nobody's there to adjust the heat or air conditioning until somebody walks into the room, and then it takes time after that. We're going to programmable thermostats. When we first started the program, there was some bad publicity from the Harts area in reference to the gym. We solved that issue by putting in programmable thermostats in the gym, programmed to come on a couple hours before the building is occupied, and we haven't had the first complaint since. So it's more efficient to do it that way. It's more comfortable. We want to make a comfortable learning environment for all of the students. So we try to do that. We try to achieve our savings of the night when there's nobody there. We put the buildings on coast, shut the systems down, and our buildings will retain their heat or cooling during the times that the custodians are usually in the building. And then overnight, when there's nobody there, they're completely shut down. They should be completely dark and quiet. I extend this invitation to all of you. I don't, if any of you would like to see what we do and what we look at when I go out and do energy audits, and I do anywhere from 15 to 25 or 30 a week in our schools, you're more than welcome to come out with me one evening. I'll show you what we're looking at, how we're trying to achieve our savings, and exactly what the program's about.
That was me.
How are you doing, Lynn? You've already heard all this. That's just updated figures. Two other things I want to make you aware of that are related to the energy program, and then I'll ask, unless you all have any questions about the specific energy program before I move on. We also entered into a program that is separate from the energy management system. It's called the PJM Demand Reduction Program. It is a program by the people that run the grid, electric grid for the Eastern Seaboard. It's essentially a standby program for electrical emergencies on the grid. What they do is they require you to run a test. Once a year you bid the amount of reduction that you can do your electrical demand reduction in an event of a crisis. If they would have a blackout in New York City or Boston and they have to divert power to the grid, they could call us up and we could shut down certain things. They'll pay you to be on standby. And in the 10 years they've had this program within West Virginia, they've never called anybody to do a reduction. So essentially it's money to be on standby. We entered into that pact with them. They provided us, they sent a man down here and looked through all of our figures and said, this is what we think you should bid, this is what we think you can achieve. We had our test in, in August, and I think we did pretty well. We should start receiving a check about midweek this week. I called today and talked to them. They said they put checks in the mail as of today. But we should receive about $28,000 a year cash back from the power company just to be on standby. We are going to apply that per Mr. Roach's direction. We're going to apply that to cover my expenses for travel. We're going to run a rewards program for the schools and return actual cash back to the schools for their usage. And we're also going to invest it back into additional equipment that will make us more reliant or more energy efficient. One of the things we're doing right now, I'm working with Dana Smith very closely. I share an office with Dana, and Dana is my immediate supervisor. One of the things we're looking at, the gymnasium lighting, 400-watt bulbs in each one of those individual lights. We just ordered 2 brand new LED lights for high bay gymnasiums that we're going to place at Ranger Elementary, where 2 lights are burning out there in the multi-purpose room. And then we also ordered a couple of CFL compact fluorescent lighting, high bay, for gymnasium applications that we're going to try in a couple of other areas as the lights burn out. See which one we like the best, and with the goal, long range, to maybe convert all of our gyms and multi-purpose rooms to a more efficient lighting system and get away from these 400-watt bulbs, because they're killing us on our electricity. That's the PJM program. And the last thing, I'm kind of proud of this. I'm going to pass some of you may have already seen this or heard of it. The EPA kind of jumped the shark on me here, but you've already seen it. Most people are familiar with the United States Environmental Protection Agency's Energy Star program, where they rate appliances and for the most energy efficient. What I didn't realize until I took this job is they have a similar program for public buildings, and they have a program for K-12 schools. I submitted, with Mr. Roach's approval last year, I submitted all of our schools. Actually, I submitted all 10 of our buildings, with the exception of the maintenance garage over here. Didn't submit it. And I found out that this building that we're in now does not qualify because it's too much administration. It has to be mostly classroom space. So of our 9 educational facilities that we have, 7 of them receive the Energy Star label for energy efficiency, and that's a nationwide comparison. You have to score 75% or above, or a score of 75 or above, and that's comparing you with all other K-12 schools throughout the country that have applied for the Energy Star label. I thought 7 of 9 schools was phenomenal. There is a certificate, a letter, and a huge, heavy brass plaque that goes along with each one of these presentations. The brass plaque is probably maybe that tall and that wide. It's Energy Star 2010. They'll be mounted